Hi there, welcome to the latest episode of my 10-minute moan. What's concerning me today is where Britain's going after some of the things I witnessed through the last weekend and the last sort of week to 10 days in particular. And there's a couple of things that I want to talk about. One is the stuff that was going on in London this last weekend and the stuff that's going on in Southampton and where I think this could potentially lead to. Now, the first thing we've seen UKIP, who were organising a protest, a march. And UKIP, whether you're a fan of theirs or not, are patriots, regardless. And they wanted to have a protest march. And they were told they couldn't have it for concerns in that community. So what happened was, two lots of people took to the streets. The Islamists did, and so did the normal far left with their trade union banners. And there was a couple of things that happened there, and something happened in Southampton that really concerned me. The first thing is, there was a video with this big march by mostly covered-faced Islamists, and reportedly some suggestions that they were carrying weapons. And they were passing by a group of lefties, and one guy from the left is heard to be saying, "What's that for, mate? We're on the same side," in which he was told, "No, we're not."
There's no need for that. We're on the same side, bro.
No, we're not.
Yes, we are, bro.
We saw videos of people from the Islamist group suggesting that they were here to take over.
What message do you want to give to the far right people?
The message I want to give to the far right people is we're here to take over your country. You can't stop us. You can try, but we're here to uphold Sharia law, and yeah, that's it.
Now, when you suggest things like that, that means you're evidently don't consider yourself as British, or you wouldn't be taking over. So that's a bit strange. That would suggest some sort of invasion or the likes. And the other thing was they were taunting people who were not part of their parade to become part of it, quite violently against them. And that was a bit bizarre. So that was going on in London. But something happened. I just need to show you what's behind me, by the way. This is lovely. I'm in Kinnan Park in Glasgow. There's a little garden, public garden, decked out in quite traditional colourings, which is good to see. People being allowed to be patriotic. There's obviously a remembrance thing tied to this because, as you'll see here, we've got some army stuff on some of them. Anyway, I digress. So Southampton, there was a march in Southampton, a sort of protect your kids type march, and some poppies here as well. It's lovely. Things that some people don't want us to celebrate anymore. And in Southampton, there was footage showing this march passing a footbridge. And the footbridge, there was people on the footbridge who were throwing things at them. One thing was definitely a bottle, and it appears to have been full of what's been reported as urine.
Boys, watch out! Watch out! Hey!
And obviously, that type of action will always gather a reaction, and the reaction was quite quick, and the reaction was obviously quite animated.
Watch out! Get! Oh my God, there's disorder going on here! Oh, f***ing hell! Oh, for f***'s sakes! Oh, f***ing! Oh, for God! Oh my God, get out of the way! Get out of the way!
And when you factor all this together, I'm not sure where this ends, and I'm not sure if it ends peacefully or not. And that's got to be a concern. It's got to be a concern for everybody. But I'm now not convinced, and I'm not putting a tinfoil hat on. I'm just looking at the facts and telling you what I see. And there's people out there suggesting this might be some part of some plan. Because when you factor in what's happened over the last couple of weeks, a synagogue was attacked and people were killed. Within days, 2 mosques were attacked. And what we've seen was a very quick reaction as to how this was sectarian, how it was racist, how it was Islamophobic. And then, 2 facts we know. One man named Arifi has been arrested and charged for one of the mosque attacks, and the other mosque attack, there is unedited footage out there where the 2 culprits appear to be talking in Urdu. Now in the second one, there was 4 people initially arrested, and since then another 3. Not one name, description has been put out for any of these suspects that the police are trying to find out who covered this crime, and I think that's pretty bizarre. But we get a lot of that where the police are asking for help from the public and they don't put out descriptions of the suspects, and that's always a bit weird. So that's what's happened, the timeline with the attacks. Synagogue, murders, 2 mosques, attempted fire bombing. No really big any damage. An eruption of how terrible and racist these things are, and then we find out that the one guy arrested and the one for the other one appears to be Muslim as well. So these aren't sectarian attacks. Now I don't know if this was some grudge, personal grievance, or part of some plan. I can only assume, and I'm not going to do that. Behind me is Glasgow Sheriff Court, one of Europe's busiest courts. And because of that fact, we'll see every week several members of the public and podcasters, etc., facing trials in here for a number of things. However, an increasing number are for posts on social media, videos on YouTube, etc., etc., etc. And for that reason and that reason alone, I believe it would make sense for everybody who does podcasts as a minimum to join the Free Speech Union, because they will help protect you when the law turns on you. That doesn't give you carte blanche to say what you want as a member, but it does give you the protection to help you when the law goes wrong. This is not now only something that should be considered by podcasters, because we are seeing more and more people each day arrested. Normal people who don't even see themselves as civilian journalists arrested for posts on social media. So it makes sense to join the Free Speech Union, because we live in this country in 2025. But if these things keep getting bigger and worse, where does it end? And I'm not seeing much in the way of the government helping to stop any of these things. I'm not seeing any government intervention to make people comfortable with their situation. When people are concerned, I don't see much in the way of the government making people comfortable. That doesn't seem to be part of their plan. And if these things, if attacks keep going on with, we'll term patriotic, I'm not going to use the term far right, because evidently there'll be some far right there, but not all. And that doesn't mean, it's not unique to the protests, that's just a fact of life. And if they keep getting, told they can't be in the roads, they keep getting, attacked, they keep getting blamed for attacks on mosques that evidently aren't them. How does that react? What happens next? And I think we all know the answer. It's a terrible, terrible possibility of what can happen, what the outcome can be. And what it needs is, it needs the establishment to do something, to try and not throw flame on a situation that's already a bit weird, but they need to try and de-escalate it. And I don't think they either A, have the desire, or B, the capability to do these things. So I have got a real fear of what might happen with these situations. And then we've not even factored in what happened with the Epping abuser. we've now since found out that the guy, when he was kicked out the jail, spent about an hour going back and forward and going back in and saying wherever to go. Almost as if he was trying to turn himself in, highlighting the fact that he potentially shouldn't have been released. And what did they do? Turned them away. Gave him directions to the train station and told him to leave the prison. That's just downright weird. Another weird thing with that case was the fact that he was out roaming about for so long. And the last footage I seen, he walked into some sort of building and their CCTV caught him. He had no face covering, no glasses on. He was still walking about with his prison issued clothing. Now, he'd been in London, their capital, which I would imagine has got more CCTV coverage than anywhere else in the UK. Wearing no disguise and prison issued clothing. Yet was free for absolute days. And that to me is downright weird. How could that happen? How's that possible in 2025? As we keep getting told about these things that we have, surveillance to help, and digital IDs apparently going to solve all the world's problems. Yet that guy in prison dress, without any face covering, glasses or disguise, was able to wander our streets for so long. The whole thing stinks, and the result of it all, to be perfectly honest with you, is frightening. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. If you've not already done so, hit the subscribe button. Even if you think you have, just double check. But most important of all, unless you're the type of person that's causing these situations, and not you, everyone else, have a great day. Cheery bye now.